It's been almost 4 years since the release of the Sony A1, and now we finally get its follow-up, the Sony A1 Mark II, obviously. And this camera has been designed to handle everything from portraits and landscapes to events, weddings, sports and journalism. But does it live up to its title of the camera that is the master of everything? That's what I'm here to find out. Or at the very least do as much as I can with the couple of hours that I have in Worcester. I'm not a miracle worker, I'll do what I can. So, with only a couple of hours at my disposal, I think it's time that I get out and see what I can do with this. Before I do, however, I did just want to point out that I also have the brand new 28 to 70mm f2 G Master lens. So you're going to be seeing plenty of samples from that throughout this video as well. But while I go out and find my first shots, I'm going to leave you with some of the key features of the camera back at my desk at home, which is always a boring way to start a video. I'll try and make it as entertaining as I can. At the heart of the camera is a 50.1 megapixel Exmor RS stacked sensor and Bion's XR processor, which allows for image capture at up to 30 frames per second, blackout free, as well as the ability to capture 8K video at up to 30p and 4K video at up to 120p for buttery smooth, slow motion footage. The A1 Mark II features a new AI processing unit for better subject recognition, along with pre-capture and continuous speed boosting to ensure that you always get the image you are after. We also get an improved 8.5 stops of in-body image stabilization for greater performance in low light situations, as well as smoother footage while capturing video, along with S-Cinetone and in-camera LUT import capabilities, which is fantastic news for videographers and vloggers. Other useful features include a 4-axis monitor for more flexibility in difficult to shoot situations, a sharp 9.44 million dot EVF with deep eye cup, an ergonomic grip, an anti-dust system, extended battery life and a wealth of connections including a 3.5mm mic jack, a headphone out jack, a USB-C 3.2 port which can also be used for charging on the go, and a full-size HDMI A port. Lastly, we have dual slots for SDXC and CF Express Type A cards. Now, let's get back to Worcester to see how the bearded one is getting on. Okay, and this is why I wanted to come to Worcester. Look at this, the cathedral there. Got to get some nice shots of that. Dial that back, get a bit of F10 action. My hair is lifeless, like straw, because I'm 48 years old. Okay, so I had a real spot of luck there. I was heading towards the cathedral, or should I say I am now heading towards the cathedral, to test out the resolution and some of the low light capabilities of the camera, because I believe it's significantly improved from the previous model. But one of the key features of this camera is its incredible speed, up to 30 frames per second blackout free. And I just managed to get a good example of that. A swan went to attack me and I caught it. I got it on camera, so I'm going to report him later. But let's head towards the cathedral now. I'll show you that footage first, and then yeah, I'll probably talk about speed and stuff over that, and then you'll see. The A1 Mark II offers the ability to capture high-resolution images at up to 30 frames per second with blackout-free shooting, but of course that would mean nothing without great autofocus. Luckily, the Mark II features 759 phase detection autofocus points covering 92% of the sensor, along with a new AI processing unit to aid with subject recognition. The camera is also capable of up to 1 second of pre-capture to ensure that you always get the shot, which is bad news for this Aviatic bully. Okay, so I apologise for the zoom in on my face. This 28mm is not good for vlogging, that's for sure. And again, some of you might be into this sort of thing, so you're welcome. But I just wanted to do this to test out the 8.5 stops of image stabilization and inbuilt image stabilization, should one say, just to give you some kind of an idea. So I'm holding this handheld by the lens, as it were, and oh god, I'm sorry you had to put up with this. Terrible. Stable though. The A1 Mark II is a must for professional videographers due to its ability to capture stunning video. It is possible to capture 8K footage at up to 30p or 4K at up to 120p with a professional 422 10-bit codec. You can produce a cinematic look with S-Cinetone, create your own LUTs with the in-camera LUT import feature, or record in S-Log3 for even greater options in post-production. Unfortunately, we've got a lot of building work going on, but hang on. I'm really liking the ability to switch from single frame to high frames with just a switch of the button. Okay, so now we are in the cathedral. Let's take, here we got Bishop Henry Philpott, if that is his real name. Let's test out some of the resolution that we're dealing with here. That's a really creepy looking photo. Not sure I like that. Imagine if you just stood up and started walking towards me right now. That would be like something right out of Inside Number 9. The hand of God. Should I be mocking like that in a place like this? Not only that, we're getting to test out the aperture of the fantastic 28 to 70mm f2, wide open. Look at that separation here. The resolution of this camera is truly outstanding thanks to the 50.1 megapixel Exmor RS stacked sensor. This is paired with the Bionz XR image processor to ensure outstanding image quality, accurate colours and low noise even when shooting at mid to high ISOs. Just taking a pew in a church. Something else that's worth pointing out is the 8.5 stops of inbuilt image stabilization, which again makes things incredibly easy to capture footage in low light situations like this. Sony's saying this is the master of everything. I haven't quite had enough time to be able to test all that out yet, but it's certainly doing everything I need it to do today, so good times. It is safe to say that the 8.5 stops of inbuilt image stabilization was incredibly useful in the low-lit areas of the cathedral, allowing me to capture razor-sharp images even at lower shutter speeds. The camera also features two new composite RAW features that give you the ability to capture images at up to 200 megapixel resolution or reduce noise for cleaner images. And while I completely forgot to put this to the test on the day, I did get a lot of images using higher ISOs, and as you can see, even when pushed as high as 25,600 or even 40,000, it is still usable. I decided to descend into the crypt for even further testing. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I thought that this here, if I can show you the image, I don't know what's showing up on the GoPro, I thought that was somebody creeping out of the door. So that's where I'm at in life. Get that ISO back down to 800. Kudos to Worcester Cathedral. Not only has it been a great place to visit and test out the Sony, you can still get 4G, even in the crypt. That's pretty good. Always connected, people. Always connected. Can't get away from anyone anymore. The lenses proved to be incredibly useful in here as well. So we've got much more of a low light situation going on, and this f2 aperture is really coming in handy. So I think now would be a good time to key you in on some of the key features, I said key twice, of the lens. So back to the boring table. It's always good, isn't it? The lens features a large, constant f2 aperture throughout the entirety of the zoom length, along with precise, smooth and silent autofocus, as well as minimal focus breathing, which is especially useful for videographers and macro work. This is further aided by a close focus distance of just 38 centimeters, again throughout the entirety of the zoom length. The construction of the lens consists of 3 Super ED lenses, 1 extra low dispersion lens and 3 XA extreme aspherical lens elements. This construction offers reduced colour fringing and chromatic aberration, while the added Nanon A coating Mark II helps to reduce ghosting and lens flare. The lens has 2 focus hold buttons for control in both landscape and portrait positions and is weather sealed, offering protection against dust and moisture. We also have customisable zoom rotation speed and declicked aperture controls, as well as support for shooting at up to 120 frames per second. You'll have to excuse the music going on in the background. Looks like they're rehearsing for some sort of thing. Sounds like a lot of fun's going on. I'm not sure I approve of that. Depth of field. Depth of field. That's right. We're talking depth of field. Depth of field. Oh, moved it. There's a man and he's walking down the hallway. Oh, look at that. That is perfect for this kind of lens. Let's just get that protected by angels. Isn't that lovely? The multi-angle screen as well is proving particularly useful today as well. There's only so much I can do. My time with the Sony A1 Mark II and 28-70mm f2 G Master lens was sadly coming to an end. As I was leaving the cathedral, I found a couple of final subjects that were perfect for testing out the shallow depth of field that the lens offered before wrapping up for the day. Sadly, my time with the Sony A1 Mark II and the fabulous 28-70mm f2 G Master lens has come to an end, but I have had a great time using this today. Been walking around Worcester, just getting images here and there, and it's been a lot of fun. Master of everything, it's certainly done everything that I've required of it thus far, though as we all know, the proof is when you get back home and you see those images back on the big screen to see what we're looking at. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to head home and I will give you my full conclusion on both the camera and the lens. Now it's time travel for you. This is all in the past. It's already done. So it's been a couple of days now since Worcester, and I've had a chance to review all of my footage and give you my conclusion. Here it is. Now, while my time with the camera and the lens was limited, I'm happy to say that I was able to capture quite a number of scenarios, including wildlife, architecture, low light, depth of field. I had some burst shooting stuff that I was able to get hold of, and in every situation, the camera handled things incredibly well. Master everything? Well, it certainly did everything that I required on the day. For example, it was incredibly easy for me to switch between modes and shooting speeds and adapt to whatever scenario presented itself on the day, as you will no doubt have seen with the Swan. I'm still reporting you. The camera responded incredibly well with burst shooting, and I was very happy that the autofocus modes performed admirably. When I got back and reviewed all the footage, I had so many keepers, it was unbelievable. You know what it's like when you normally get back and you think you've got all these shots, and then you look on the laptop and no, so many frames had just been missed and the focus point was off. Not the case with the Sony A1 Mark II, an incredible hit rate, and I was very, very happy with that indeed. I didn't have a tripod with me at all throughout the day, and at no point did I feel I needed it. The 8.5 stops of inbuilt image stabilization was so good, incredibly good. You saw in the video that I did a lot of low light shooting. All of that was done handheld. I was able to either bump up the shutter speed or the ISO, but in the shutter speed situations, that 8.5 stops of inbuilt image stabilization, it just came in so handy. At no point, I don't think there was any, when I look back at the footage, I don't remember there being any, there was no sort of blurred shots or anything like that. Everything was just crisp and sharp and exactly what I wanted. The resolution of the camera is absolutely outstanding. You've got so much options to be able to crop in to the image in post-production if you didn't quite line the image up exactly how you wanted to, or you want to, I don't know why I'm explaining cropping, you know what cropping does. And I was equally impressed with the slow motion footage that I was able to capture with it as well. Again, the intelligent autofocus was just doing its job the entire time. You'll have already seen some of the demonstrations of that in this video. Everything's just sharp and in focus. It's great. The lens was also a joy to use and the perfect accompaniment on this little excursion I had. That 28-70mm focal length, that is just so versatile. It just lends itself to so many different situations. Not only that, you have that wide f2 constant aperture that allows you to get those depth of field shots as well as be able to help out in low light situations. A fantastic lens. I have nothing bad to say about the lens at all. I guess my only real grievance with this setup was that I didn't have longer to spend with it. It was just, I would have loved to have pushed it further. I'd love to have been able to take it into a couple of different other shooting environments, but for what I did on the day, it did everything I required. It was so easy to use and it just delivered on all fronts. A fantastic system. So I think that brings this video to a close. If you do require more information on both the camera and the lens, then you can check out the links in the description of this video. That'll take you to the website and you can peruse at your leisure. If you did enjoy this video or learned anything from it at all, then please consider dropping a like, leave a comment and subscribe if you haven't already. Until then, I'll see you on the next one.